This morning, 3 communities in the region came under fire from the Russian military. This was announced by the head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration, Valentin Reznichenko. According to him, as a result of shelling, there is destruction in Zelenodolsk community. A 41-year-old woman received a shrapnel wound. No one was injured in the Shirokiv and Apostol communities. The head of the region added that in the morning there was also a missile strike on the Dnipro district. There are previously no casualties. Sumy Regional Military Administration reported that this day the Russian military dropped bombs from drones and fired a grenade launcher from a quadcopter on the territory of the Krasnopil community. As a result, the house was damaged and there were no casualties. Also, the head of Regional Military Administration, Dmytro Zhivitsky, reported that this day the plane of the Ukrainian Air Force brought down the Russian cruise missile over the Romensky area. The head of the Luhansk Regional Military Administration, Serhiy Haidai, said that fighting was continuing in the Severodonetsk, Hirske and Popasna communities. He also added that the current day the Russians were trying to carry out assault operations in the direction of Nirkovo and Mykolaiivka. The Ukrainian military repulsed an attempt at this assault. The enemy retreated. Destruction of 9 houses was recorded in Nirkovo and Mykolaiivka. A total of 38 residential buildings were damaged during the day. The village of Sinetske on the outskirts of Severodonetsk suffered significant damage. Currently, 17 residents of the city, including 3 children, were evacuated from Lysychansk by national police officers, rescuers and volunteers. The shellings are constant. Children are afraid, they twitch. And that's why I want to leave, so that the children are safe. 10 months, the youngest son, and 4 years older, and the wife 27 years. Yesterday there were shellings. We fell to the floor, lay with a small child, probably at 10 o'clock in the evening. The fire was kindled, I heated porridge for him, and fell to the floor, and all. At first I didn't want to, but now I don't have any strength. The children are in Moscow, and I'm here. Mom, leave! Yes, I will leave soon, I will leave soon. I have no strength. And you go to bed and you get up, bah, bah, bah. People who wanted to leave the city during the day were transported to a designated place, from where they were transported by special transport to the Donetsk region. My husband's head was broken, all my fingers were broken. I have a disability group, I don't have the strength to listen to it all. And my grandson asked very much that he still needed me. So I can't live with that anymore. I want to go home to my native Ukraine. I don't want to go to Russia. I want to stay in Ukraine. The current day, the Russian military destroyed the ice palace in Severodonetsk. This was announced by the head of the Luhansk Regional Military Administration, Serhiy Haidai. According to him, the arena, which accommodated 5,000 people, the Russian military threw shells. The head of the region added that for almost 50 years this place has been a sports and cultural center of the city. For the past 24 hours, 3 civilians in the Donetsk region have been killed in shelling by the Russian military. Avdiivka, which has been at the forefront since 2014, has lost 2 citizens. Another victim was from Novoukrainka. This was announced by the head of the Donetsk Regional Military Administration, Pavlo Kyrylenko. In total, since the beginning of the full-scale Russian invasion in the region, 489 civilians have been killed and 1,256 wounded in the region. The police of Donetsk region reports that currently 7 settlements came under fire from the Russian military. 22 civilian objects were destroyed. The residential areas of Slovyansk and Kramatorsk are under constant fire from the Russian military. Dozens of residential buildings have been destroyed since the beginning of the full-scale Russian invasion. 4 small children lived there. Can you imagine? We left there on time. There would be no one. Everything is destroyed. Balconies here. There are no doors or windows. There was even a door in the refrigerator. They carried all their lives, worked, bought an apartment, and now some villains have taken it and destroyed it. People are trying to cover damaged apartments with panels and oilcloth on the windows. As soon as it gets quieter, the evacuated residents return to the cities.
Я за 2 дні з'їхала.
I left in 2 days. I lived here for 3 months and said goodbye to life every night. I knew there would be such shelling, but I didn't think it would be so soon. I left and thought maybe in a week or 2 he would arrive. and arrived 2 days later. The military called me at night and asked if I was alive because the rocket had flown into my apartment. I said I was alive and not at home anymore. And the next morning, I went to see it all. In Slavyansk, light is supplied intermittently. There is no gas. Locals cook on homemade stoves under the porches, collect water from the wells, and collect rainwater. There is no water at all for a month. These 4 bottles, if you do not wash, just make tea, will be enough for a week. Despite the constant shelling and difficult living conditions, many locals do not plan to leave the frontline cities. It all started in 2014. Just then there were no such weapons as now. Missiles are coming from nowhere. I will not say that we are not afraid. Of course we are afraid. But we want to stay here. This is our motherland. This is our hometown. We were born here and we don't want to go anywhere from the land. We don't want to go to other place. Film it. Did they film it? Do not want. I'm in my country, in my city. According to the SES, during the day, pyrotechnic units found, seized and neutralized 879 explosive devices on an area of 1,210 hectares. In total, as reported in the main directorate of the SES, since the beginning of the full-scale military invasion of Russia, neutralized 133,779 explosive devices, including 1,987 aerial bombs. The area of 36,476 hectares were surveyed. 7 men in Odesa region make 4th-class bulletproof vests from improvised means. To do this, use a material for sound insulation of cars, glue and armor plates. A clothing store was converted for work. This is a Finnish armor steel factory, which is cut and anatomically curved. It is necessary to apply a ballistic layer on it, because the bullet, when it hits this plate, it scatters fragments of shrapnel, which strikes the warrior and those who fight with him, is around him. What do we use as a ballistic layer? This is our development. This is car noise insulation. We use it, 4 mm, glue it in 2 layers. Ready-made bulletproof vests are tested in special laboratories. According to men, the only drawback is the weight of the means of protection. Of course, the back will be tiring. This is the main drawback. It may be difficult for unprepared people to stay in it for a long time. But what will you do? This is a war, such unfortunate conditions. The level of protection here is the maximum, the best you can find for this money for sure. In 3 months, men made more than 1,000 bulletproof vests. Dmitro receives inquiries from the military. First of all, he sent means of protection to the front line. We have no sales, either individually or in large batches. We collect donations. Our friends give personal funds, and we are currently making bulletproof vests for them. And we pass on to the people who are in the zone of hostilities on the first line. It used to be easier to collect certain amounts. People are really tired, and we understand that this is a marathon, that this is a war for endurance. But we do not give up. We will continue to do what we do.